We're back.
Hello. It's been a while.
It's been at least 27 days, but probably not 27 days.
At least since we've recorded.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is, in fact, another episode of the Manic Movie Misfits podcast. I will watch my volume. I know I'm a loud guy. Just chill. I've got it here in front of me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm Trevor.
Oh, that's right names.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's been a while. Relax.
It's been a while.
My name is John Phillips. And yes, this is the Manic Movie Misfits podcast, where we talk about movies, TJ's love life, books, music.
So pop culture and things that aren't existent.
And when we want to, we can bust out some incredible sounds.
Oh, no.
Troopers,
Trooper.
the war is canceled. We can all go home.
I tried to find a war in Stanley, Idaho this weekend and last weekend. That's part of the reason why we weren't recording podcast episodes, because I was doing big things in archaic worlds with a lack of technology and cell service.
Ah, yes.
I'm cleansed. Also, I just got back from a long drive, so if I start spouting communist ideals or anything that is incoherent, don't blame me, blame the drive.
Huh?
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour.
Put in the work, put in the hours.
We take what's ours.
God, I haven't thought about that's one of those things I feel like I never think about, and I quote probably like at least once a week.
Actually?
Yeah, it's one of those memes like I never feel like I think about, and then like I always just somehow reference it. Which is weird, because I don't think it's like that funny of a meme.
No. Now, is it as good as me referencing Black Entertainment Television whenever I say bet?
That is also good.
Speaking of which, we watched a couple episodes of Martin. TJ, what's your thoughts?
So, for those who don't know, we went on vacation a few weeks ago. And while we were in the hotel room just doing nothing, whenever like college basketball games were at halftime, John became obsessed with the idea of watching BET.
Give it its full name, TJ. Give it.
Black
I know
Entertainment
I said it.
Television.
Thank you. Give it the respect it deserves.
Yeah. And so we watched multiple episodes of Martin. I think most of them were the same episode, because they just re-aired the same episode like 3 times.
We watched the finale twice.
Yeah, we did.
And then we watched another episode, which honestly made less sense than the finale, which is odd given the fact that it's the finale.
Yeah, exactly. It's a decent show, though. I mean, I've never seen it, so I didn't know what I was getting into, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Bro, halfway through the finale, I was seriously thinking, I want to watch this show, like, all the way through.
I thought about it. Like, I was, like, I was scrolling through, like, YouTube TV the other day, and I saw it, and I was like, I kind of want to watch it. But also, I mean, like, I was just like, I don't know.
It definitely has that vibe where it's just kind of a chill, fun show to put on in the background.
And I'm here for it. Martin Lawrence he's a legend.
Dude,
he's a funny guy.
There was multiple cameos in the finale as well of relatively famous people.
Yeah, I don't know if they had like series significance, but they were just there, and I was like, this is cool.
There's also a tall black guy in it that has the most bougie outfit I think I've ever seen in a sitcom. Remember the guy with the red suit that was tall?
Yeah.
Bro, where can I find that suit? I want that suit. Here's the crazy thing, too. Weren't they in a coffee shop when he was vibing with that suit on?
I think they're in a bar.
Oh, well, okay. Bar.
It's like Cheers.
Bam, ba-na-na-na-na. Making your way in the world today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get copyrighted.
You're gonna get copyright strikes. It's just so close to the original.
They're just gonna be going through. They're gonna be like, ding, ding.
The algorithm is gonna get it. It's gonna flag
ding.
it.
It's gonna flag it. The FBI, their secret task force.
The FBI.
Well, in this case, I believe it's Paramount that owns. Paramount owns CBS, correct? Or is it the other way around?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, CBS or Paramount's secret task force is going to come in and take me out in my sleep
Oh, okay.
and waterboard me because I
Before or after you're taken out?
will
And taken out in what sense?
to be determined. Well,
Are they going to take you out to a nice 5-star restaurant? Or they're going to wine and dine you?
they could the wine and dine could be a part of the waterboarding. I get waterboarded with wine.
Are you more of a red man or a white man kind of guy?
I'm more
Especially to be waterboarded with.
okay. If we're talking about waterboarded, I'll go with red.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know much about wine, so I just picked.
fair enough.
Can you tell me if that was a good decision or a bad
Probably
decision?
not.
So you're saying it would be better to be waterboarded with white wine?
Yeah, because it's lighter.
Okay.
It's gonna be a little more like water, but red wine is gonna be that's gonna hurt going down.
Yikes. Okay.
You messed up, boy.
Well, they say that you learn something every day, and I learned that it's better to be waterboarded with
white wine.
With white wine, not red wine. So if any of you are given the choice out there, just know that TJ has got your back. He's got my back, and he's got your back.
Yeah, for in subsequent episodes when I do waterboard John.
Are you gonna do like for a special clip for the YouTube? Are you gonna do a DIY waterboarding?
That'll be our 1 million listener our clip. It's me waterboarding you.
Will it be at 1:00 in the morning?
Why does the time of day have to do with it?
Because it's more eerie if it's 1:00 in the morning.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Before we
Spooky
continue,
scary.
the last thing I should say is sorry about the hair, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I just got back from a drive, and so it's all over the place. TJ, you brought up something. I'm sorry. I'm done with excuses. I won't make any more. Do or do not, there is no try.
Okay.
A wise man once said that. A wise creature, Yoda, carrot creature said that. You were talking about Cheers earlier, TJ.
Yeah.
And that reminded me. I actually wanted to talk about sitcoms, actually. Because as you know, I love sitcoms. I've seen a lot of them.
That you have.
Because I hear all these people say, this is the greatest sitcom of all time. This is the greatest sitcom of all time. I'm going to lay down the tack hammer. Where'd the tack hammer go?
Behind your computer. There you go.
I'm going to lay down the tack hammer.
That's going to do wonders for the audio.
You're welcome.
I'm not the one editing this, so this is for you later.
You know what? Be quiet.
All right.
I'm going to lay down the tack hammer.
You already did.
I wanted to watch all these sitcoms so I could tell people that basically I'm superior. No. Just so I could have a firm opinion on all this. Because people that make these lists or make these claims usually, well, make the claims, not the list, but makes the claims have not seen all of these sitcoms that are out there. Obviously, I can't watch every sitcom under the sun, but I'll watch, the big popular ones that are considered the top tier
The classics.
sitcom.
Yeah.
I kind of took a break from that sort of binge, but I've gotten a good amount of them under my belt. I won't name all of them, but several of them. I'm rewatching Cheers, out of all things, which I might have told you.
I think you told me
Okay.
this.
I don't mean... Because I eventually do want to do an episode where you and I sit down and rank sitcoms after you and I have seen a lot of them. It's an episode that I'm fine with waiting,
A while.
a while. It's fine, because I want to make it a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Bro. Cheers, man. Oh, just did it again. Wonders for the
Put
audio.
down the tack hammer.
I'll lay it on the carpet. I don't mean to spoil the episode, but I think honestly,
Go for it. I mean,
dude, Cheers. I think it's gonna be number one. It's gonna be my number one. The thing is, okay, all these millennials we're Gen Z, correct?
yeah, we're Zers.
Did you know there's another generation, by the way, that's already going on now?
Alpha? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that till a week ago.
Oh yeah. That's like the whole thing with like that whole like new wave of memes where it's like I can't even remember what it is, but it's like all these Gen Alpha memes that not even like Gen Zers know what's going on. It's like
Actually,
That's kind of like the joke is that, like, Alpha has their own thing.
Well, I guess we're gonna be more aware of them on social media
within the next few years.
Yes, because didn't Gen Alpha start early 2010s?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say like whatever this new like last wave of memes has been, is like people are like classifying as like the first like set of Gen Alpha memes.
Interesting.
And so they're kind of starting to make their mark on the internet.
The world will go further downhill.
That it will.
These Gen Alpha people, these Gen Z people, us, and a lot of millennials don't give Cheers the respect that it deserves. When I see these lists, it's always Friends, Seinfeld, really those two, actually, when they make the list of greatest sitcoms. Again, I don't mean to spoil. We actually, this isn't spoiling our discussion because we talked about it on the Seinfeld episode, which we did a whole episode on the Seinfeld show. Great episode. I really enjoyed it. Long time ago. Check it out either on YouTube or just on the regular podcast streaming apps.
Yeah.
One of our main flaws that we discovered from the show is its finale. Kind of sucks.
Dude, I talked about this literally like less than 2 hours ago.
Actually?
Yes.
Dude, it sucks. And
it's pretty bad.
To me, a fundamental part of a great television show, even though it is literally one episode and a potential show of hundreds, is the finale.
Yeah.
If you can't land a finale, it leaves a bad taste in a viewer's mouth.
Yeah.
And affects the overall view of the show.
How I Met Your Mother is crying right now.
How I Met Your Mother, also a great example.
I think it's the prime example.
Yes. That and then Seinfeld not far off, to be honest.
I think Seinfeld is a little more bearable because I think the middle part of that episode isn't as bad, but I think the beginning and the end are bad. I think the part of the trial where they bring back everyone is kind of funny every now and then like the beginning of the episode is bad, and then the end of the episode is bad.
That's fair, but I was more attacking it from the standpoint as like what is synonymous with.
Oh yeah. The
bad finales with like great shows or good shows that have a bad finale. Seinfeld's not far off as far as how synonymous it is with that kind of
with a bad
thing.
Finale. Yeah. I'd say like the Seinfeld finale is like a 50-50. You like it or you don't. I think the How I Met Your Mother one is like unanimously hated.
Oh,
I've never met a single person who likes that at the beginning of that show.
There's so many cliche but worthy storytelling tactics that they just went away from. They just totally abandoned.
In which one?
How I Met Your Mother finale. There's so many things that they built up that they just crumbled for no apparent reason.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
They just undermined like everyone's character growth in the last 2 minutes of the show, and it's like, what was the point of like literally half of the last season? Even though it's not great,
sense.
I don't know. If you want to be completely disappointed, watch How I Met Your Mother completely, and you will be utterly disappointed. Because that show should have ended like 10 minutes into the finale, not even, and just called it there.
Great soundtrack though.
Oh,
there's a lot of, as you clearly identified with your comment there, a lot of great parts of the show.
Oh yeah,
but the finale is.
Yeah, it can be a super funny show and it has some good moments, but the last bit of the finale sucks. Like that last out of the two-parters, like the last half of episode 1 and then all of episode 2 for that two-parter is bad.
It is.
Is John here?
No, I thought I heard some creaking. I think that's your chair. I don't know. I don't think it's.
I thought I heard the door knock.
John? You're not here, I guess. I don't know.
It is 6:00 though, so.
Well.
That's what I heard.
Oh, okay. Back to my Cheers thing.
Yeah.
It's been taking a long time to get to this.
Yeah, we've really sidetracked from this.
But that's what we do.
It's a normal thing.
It is, to me, the greatest sitcom that I have ever seen. Which, again, I've seen most of the big ones.
Yeah. For a second, when you started this conversation, I thought you were going to say something like the opposite, where it's like, I think less of this.
Oh.
The tone you had going into it sounded like I was like, I don't like it as much. And I'm like, oh, interesting.
Well, I had people's attention then, it sounds like, which is good.
Yeah. He subverted my expectation.
One of the things that makes it the greatest sitcom of all time is it is the most consistent sitcom I have seen, which is no matter how many people go in and out of the show due to them wanting a movie career or sadly one of them dying in real life,
Yeah.
they consistently replace and add characters at a high level. The comedy does not decrease and the quality does not decrease despite adding and losing new characters. Frasier, for example, who gets his own show, is added 4 seasons into the show, basically, as a main character, as a consistent character. What's her name? Shelley Long, who Sam and her made the iconic will they, won't they relationship a big deal in sitcoms. Rachel and Ross from Friends should honor the writing for that relationship in Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the actor who played Coach, but Ernie Pantuso, Coach, was replaced by Woody Harrelson, out of all people, and that was his start, his breakout. They do all that, and replace Shelley Long. And it is still great, if not better, than where it originally was, which is impressive, because when you make that many moves on a show that is as popular as it was in the 80s, you have a lot riding on that.
Exactly.
You have to think about chemistry. You have to think about, again, the quality, everything. Now, I'm sure James Burrows, basically the GOAT of sitcoms, probably helps when you have him writing and directing a lot of this stuff and producing it.
Exactly.
Because I was looking, as I've been rewatching the episodes, he directs, I want to say he directs at least, I'm up to season 6 on my rewatch. He directs, I feel like 90% of the episodes, if I had to guess, just off the top of my head.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's very noteworthy and impressive when especially like sitcoms have like a consistent director. I was looking at Always Sunny, which is a very different kind of sitcom, but that one has like the guy who directed WandaVision, or most of WandaVision, at least created that. He directs at least a few seasons worth of episodes. Towards the middle, and I'm like, that's probably why it's so consistently good. Is you just got one dude doing the whole thing. It's great.
You're talking about him directing the WandaVision episodes?
No, Always Sunny. That's how he got his start.
No way.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He did I know he does the one where they're trying to pass the health inspection.
Okay.
In season 10, which is so good. It's one of the best episodes I've seen. Here bits and pieces, but I think he does a lot of stuff from season 3 to probably maybe 11 or 12. He's on it for a lot. He just barrels through episodes seasons. It's awesome. But
I just finished the youth league, or sort of they have to do service because they have to they have to give service to the community because they put lit up the building next to them.
Yeah.
And
you get
they have to do community service, and
the basketball one. So funny. That's one of my
hilarious.
Favorites. From what I've seen, but
and DeVito has that gambling ring come and show up, and they start betting on the game.
Oh my god, it's a classic.
And he purposely buys the one black kid on the team a bike so he doesn't play in the game their best player.
It's a classic.
I didn't realize how much that show has to give thanks to Seinfeld for. Because it's literally...
It's darker Seinfeld.
Yeah, it's darker Seinfeld. It's these are a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
they're funny, but they're assholes.
Exactly. I remember saying that to someone, and they're like, I don't know about that. I'm like, that's exactly what the show is. It's darker Seinfeld.
They literally do a Seinfeld episode in It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, it's it's season 9 or something. It's later, but I know they do the contest scene, and I'm like, that's awesome. I love that.
Who is it? It's two of them play Jerry, right? It's Rob and I can't remember the name of the other guy.
It's Dennis and it's Mac.
Yes.
And then Charlie's Kramer. And DeVito is...
Who's DeVito?
He's Jason Alexander's.
That's right.
George, yeah.
I've just seen the one clip on social media where they all turn because it's the window, the scene where they're looking at the naked lady through the window and they all turn. It's just so good. It's so funny with their wigs.
So funny. Speaking of Seinfeld, like I said, I was talking about the finale earlier with my family over dinner, and I was thinking about Jackie Childs, one of my favorite side characters in like any sitcom. Because he was in like a March Madness commercial recently.
He was.
Yeah, he's in one of those. What are the ones that Chuck and Samuel Jackson?
Capital One.
Yeah, it is Capital One. It's like one of those truck stop ones, and it's Jackie Childs is Chuck's lawyer, and it's it's such a good bit, and I'm like, I love just Jackie Childs randomly popping up in like all these like commercials now. Like people have no idea now, like a lot of the youth don't, but like I think for people who still watch like commercials and stuff like that, like it's such a good bit. I think Jackie Childs is so funny, and
Gen Alpha doesn't know, that's for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, kind of like what you were saying earlier about like how like the sitcoms always have different weight depending on like generation.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say like now I don't even see like Seinfeld as much like pop up in like big sitcoms, but I don't even know how big sitcoms are with like modern generations.
Well, and that's not totally their fault because sitcom writers suck nowadays.
Especially now, yeah.
Yeah. Look, you there's a reason you have Frasier getting more seasons because they can't write a good sitcom. So they're just relying on past characters from great sitcoms to try and make a good sitcom, which I've seen the ratings for the new Frasier show.
Not good.
It usually never works. And in the case of this, I personally won't be watching it. I love Frasier. Hilarious show. Frasier's my favorite character on Cheers. Thought they did a great show with him. Mm-hmm. I won't be watching it.
No. Yeah, I think very, very seldomly does it actually work. Like, I think, like, when they bring back some of those sitcoms and stuff, like, what was the one that, iCarly, they brought that back, and that, like, somehow worked. And then, like, but, like, I feel like every other time I've seen it, it's just, like, crashes and burns. And it's like, are we surprised? No.
From what you said, it sounds like the iCarly thing did work.
It did, like, surprisingly, like, weirdly. Like, everyone was, like, super into it, especially, like, the second season. Like, it somehow people were like, it got better. I'm like, what? And everyone was, like, actually legitimately mad that they canceled it.
You did tell me about that.
Yeah, because they set up a huge thing, and then they canceled it, and everyone was like, what the hell?
Well, that's another trend, is big media companies like to cancel things that are actually good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And instead they like to make, well, this is actually apt because they're both in the same streaming service, and then they like to keep Frasier going.
True. Oh my gosh. Oh, Frasier.
Yeah. I'll finally finish up my Cheers thing.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I guess the last comment I want to make is, how should I put this? Just that, yeah, I think it is the greatest sitcom of all time. I wish more people saw it. I say the same things about MASH. You know me, I'm a very old soul.
Yeah.
I listen to 70s, 80s classic rock, kind of my main genre.
Yeah.
All my favorite shows and movies and everything are around that 80s decade, 70s. I just wish more people watch those shows because they're crafted so well. Mm-hmm. If there's not great writing going on now with sitcoms, so why not go on the streaming services that you already have
and watch
and
the old
check
ones.
out great sitcom writing? For example, MASH and Cheers. I've said this before. I'm glad we have this platform just so I can gush about how awesome MASH is.
Which was great.
So, for those that don't know, MASH literally created the A and B plot line for sitcoms, for dramas, really for anything. Mostly sitcoms, but also dramas. Having a comedic timeline and a drama timeline and splicing them in one episode. That was never done before. Like that. And it shows just how great drama can be in a sitcom.
Yeah.
Like, sitcoms can be hilarious, but they can also be super sad and serious and talk about serious things. MASH showed that. Nowadays, people think they're all cheesy and that's all they can be, or all they can be is funny.
Well, yeah. I feel like, I mean, like, once you get past, like, I want to say, like, the 90s. Like, the 90s is where that kind of shifts. I mean, not, like, completely, because I feel like some of them still do hit on some sad topics. But I feel like the 90s and the 2000s is kind of where it becomes, like, it's more goofy. It's all jokes. And less kind of, like, Saturday, or not, like, Saturday morning lesson at the end, but legitimately, like, deeper topic or something like that. I feel like you see that more in, like, 70s, 80s stuff in general.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, it's probably in part just to the fact that cable television is kind of going down the drain. That probably doesn't help as well. But I'm not saying that should be an excuse for something like that to happen. There's still there's streaming services, and there's people that can write, I hope.
Yeah.
We just got to find those people, and we got to set the production companies and media companies straight and saying, we do want this, because there is an audience out there for that kind of quality writing. I mean, look at It's Always Sunny. It's Always Sunny is extremely popular. At least it seems so.
It's consistently stayed popular. I mean, even the early stuff, it really is, like, I'd say, like, if you had to think of a sitcom for now, it'd probably be that. Like, and probably only that alone, because, like, nothing else really compares. I mean, like, you get, like, some of those shows that, like, overperform in, like, awards stuff, like Abbott Elementary and stuff like that. But
True.
I don't see it being as popular as Always Sunny and just in the main stage or, like, in society. And also, I mean, like, I've heard that the show is not doing that well in its latest season.
It's Always Sunny?
No, Abbott Elementary.
Okay.
But, like, I mean, It's Always Sunny's been on for, like, 16 seasons now.
Didn't it break the record for longest sitcom around 13 or something along those lines?
Maybe, yeah.
Because I think the longest sitcom that I've watched, I think, is
12.
12 or 11. MASH, well,
I was gonna say, I thought MASH was like 12.
MASH might have been 12, and I know Frasier was going on for
I think Frasier's on for like 12 as well.
Yeah, let me look.
What was I gonna say about modern sitcoms?
I mean,
that
you and I are gonna write our own, but anyway, go ahead.
Ted, the new Ted show. It kind of takes that, like, sitcom-y format. People love it.
True, I've been seeing a lot of clips of that on social media.
Yeah, and, like, it has, like, this whole thing, and, like, I was talking with Emerson, and he's like, it's a show that has, like, a sitcom-y basis, and it's actually good, like, especially for modern writing, and, like, Seth MacFarlane, who can be very iffy at writing at times. Ted, it's been very popular, and it has, like, that sitcom-y format, and people are legitimately liking it, especially, like, not just the fact that it's Seth MacFarlane, but it's actually good. And it's enjoyable to watch, and it's funny, and it makes all the marks of a good sitcom-y type show while also being a good streaming service show. What a concept.
Is it classified as a sitcom? Do you know?
I don't know. I just know it has a kind of more of a sitcom-y format.
Okay. I'll look it up. I was looking up some other stuff. I'll look it up again. By the way, Frasier, MASH, and Cheers is all 11 seasons.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I know they're all over 10, but I was like, I don't know.
Friends was 10, right?
Friends is 10. Seinfeld is 8.
How I Met Your Mother is...
No, Seinfeld's 9.
How long is that one? I can also, again, I have my phone. So.
How I Met Your Mother's 9.
9.
Or some other long ones. I don't even know.
Okay, so Google at least lists Ted as a comedy.
Yeah.
The reason I mention that is I also just wanted to bring up, and I'll just verify this for sure, but these shows that you've been mentioning, It's Always Sunny, let's check. I was just going to say that when you have comedy shows nowadays that are actually funny, they're never sitcom format, or they're at least never classified as a sitcom. It's always comedy.
Well, I feel like I kind of feel like the sitcom format, especially for streaming services, is kind of dying, if not dead.
For streaming services, you're saying?
In terms of, like, modern shows, I feel like it's kind of dying, if not, it's like it's just like trying to crawl out of the grave, and it's just not working. But I feel like it's one of those things where it's like you kind of have to look at some of these comedy shows and be like, this is the closest thing to a sitcom. So this is kind of like what would be like kind of classified as a sitcom, where it's like Always Sunny is like, it's not completely a sitcom, but it's like, it's the closest analogy you can get to a sitcom. I mean, I just like, it's one of those things that just doesn't work as well anymore. At least as on streaming services and such. So I feel like it's hard to be like, compare a lot of things to sitcoms. Because I feel like it's more of a thing of the past, if that makes sense, or format of the past at least.
Abbott Elementary and It's Always Sunny are listed as sitcoms.
That makes sense.
But that doesn't defeat your point, which is true, because you watch It's Always Sunny and it's not traditional sitcom format.
Yeah. I think a lot of those.
But there is some remnants of that. You do have the double plot line, but there is obviously some stuff there, but you're definitely, I see where you're going.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, I feel like eventually it won't kind of be a thing anymore. I feel like it'll just be more like comedy shows. But I mean, I feel like that's just going to be the way television is streaming services are kind of the way of the future. And it's kind of annoying that they all have to be different and can't just like consolidate at least a little bit, because it's really annoying how there's like 50 billion of them. But I don't know. That's
one thing I'll clarify too is I also understand that we both do. I'm going to speak for you, TJ. Hopefully what I say is true.
Okay. We
do understand that things change and there is progressions, and there's things that are become popular and then become less popular. We've talked about Westerns a lot in that regard. They become very popular. You get a lot of great ones, and then for whatever reason they sort of die out and other things become popular.
Well, yeah, you've seen it 50 billion times. It's not entertaining anymore.
I don't want to stop change per se and the progress of highlighting other things. Nevertheless, I still am sad about that, because who doesn't love a good sitcom?
That is true. Yeah. I don't know. I think, yeah.
By the way, do you agree? I spoke for you, but do you agree with what I said?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, change happens. I mean, you see that in the movie space with superhero movies. I mean, that's kind of, I don't want to say dying breed, but they're definitely on the decline.
Yes.
And kind of falling out of public perception, no matter what Marvel and DC like to say. But I mean, there is still things that are big. I mean, Invincible just came out, and that was pretty popular, and got Spider-Verse this last year and stuff like that. And I mean, there's still like hype around superheroes, but like not as much as there was. And you start to see that decline, especially in like MCU and stuff like that. But who knows what superheroes have in store?
I'm glad you brought that up, because it'll be interesting to see how James Gunn's new universe does, considering taste the audience for those kind of superhero movies is dwindling.
I don't know. I don't think it'll succeed.
I would lean towards that opinion.
Yeah, as much as he's hyping it up, I don't see people getting hyped for another shared universe. I feel like Marvel kind of hit it out of the park with theirs, and it worked. And DC tried to replicate it, and they occasionally had a winner, but it didn't work as well. And I think that between that reputation and the fact that they're starting to die off to begin with, it's just not going to succeed. It might, like, one of them might succeed, like the new Superman movie or something like that, but I don't see anything else working that well.
I like where you're going with all that. What DC, and then adding on to that, the one thing DC has done well, which they're continuing to do well, is when they do the
standalone stuff.
The standalone movies.
That's where they've succeeded in, like Joker and Batman and stuff. Like, I mean, those are huge hits and were like largely influential in modern movies and stuff like that. But no, we got to make more Aquaman movies. And
what was the latest one? Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom?
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
I haven't watched the last few DCU movies.
Okay.
I was going to rewatch them all and then catch up on the new ones. And I keep meaning to. I've been meaning to do that for like 2 years, because I haven't seen like Man of Steel in like 5 years, maybe more. But like, I don't know. I just haven't had that urge as of late, especially now that it's kind of dead.
I keep telling myself I'm going to do that with the latest Marvel movies. I haven't seen, or maybe it's just, I just haven't seen the Marvels. That's what it's called, correct?
Yeah, it's all right. It's watchable. I mean, if we're feeling dumb at like a late at night for like a movie night or something, it'd be something to throw on. That's
a good example of what we've been talking about, though, because that movie, at least from some headlines that I've read, has lost money.
I think it did. Yeah, it definitely underperformed badly.
Do we know, by the way, whether Dune or not has hit over $1 billion?
Last time I heard it was like 700 million. So not yet, I don't think.
Let's see.
But I can't even remember when I heard that, so maybe it might be even closer. But it's inching. It's been out for like a month now. So
yes, and wait for Dune Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, Part 6 episodes, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah,
they are coming out. Don't you worry.
Oh totally.
No, they're not. They're not. I promise. Don't leave us because I made that joke, please.
Yeah. Do you know how many people clicked off of the podcast as soon as they heard that?
Well, out of the 3 people that are listening to us, at least one.
Yeah.
You know what I say to those haters? I thought
you were going to make a deal with the joke, and I'm like, wow, we're back in 2012 now.
I've got my sunglasses in the podcast room. I'm keeping track of the episodes in my mind.
This is bad. This is a pretty bad bit.
TJ, as my co-host, you're supposed to hype me up. What the hell?
I don't know. Oh, yeah. But what were we talking about?
We were talking about how we think Po from Kung Fu Panda would do on Arrakis. How would he do? I'm just curious. He is black and white. The black fur that he has, it's obviously not going to do nearly as well in the sun. I'm not wrong, TJ. I'm right. I'm right.
You are.
The color black. It's hard, it absorbs more sun.
Okay. Yeah.
That's going to be harder on Arrakis.
I don't know. I think he'd get eaten by a sandworm. He's a little clumsy.
Well, that's true. He probably couldn't master the walk.
Exactly. He'd be a little too clumsy, and then like before you knew it, he'd be eaten by a sandworm.
True. Which, honestly, since he does have, the girth to him, it's going to be tasty for a sandworm. Sandworms never had panda.
That is true.
That we know of, at least. We don't know if we don't know if the Harkonnens or another house that was running the spice on Arrakis dropped in a panda from another planet to feed the sandworms. To divert the sand. Dude. Okay, this is definitely not okay. This violates so many animal rights stuff.
But here's the question. Does it violate the Geneva Convention?
Last time I checked, no.
Okay.
You could just have a zoo full, or you could just farm a bunch of pandas.
Okay.
And you could drop them in when a sandworm's nearby one of the spice sort of harvesters.
Mm-hmm.
And the worm would just divert to the panda instead of the harvester because of how clumsy they are.
Okay.
And that was so much more profitable. You'd eat the panda. The sandworm would eat the panda. You'd have enough time to get the harvester up in the air with their aircraft.
Essentially, you're saying Pavlov the sandworms into the thing of when they hear the spice harvester, seek out the panda.
Correct.
Okay.
As far as economics are concerned, I don't see how this is not a great
Spaceonomics.
Spaceonomics. The Harkonnens should hire me. I would never want to work for them. I'd probably get killed after 10 days. But
Fade Routha.
Dude, Fade Routha would just come in and
Austin Butler or Sting Fade Routha?
Well, probably Sting Fade Routha with the Speedo that he has in that one scene.
Yeah.
That skin in particular, which I'm hoping drops on Fortnite soon, would just stab me.
Oh my God. I would love that if that dropped in Fortnite. Our group could be Goku, the Mandalorian, Sting from Dune
With the Speedo.
And John Wick.
Dude, that would be legendary. Did you know that Sting tried to gift Austin Butler the Speedo?
I did hear that, yeah.
Yes. I don't know if what happened, what was
I don't know, I just saw the headline.
conclusion of that, but
Yeah.
Austin Butler better have accepted. Otherwise, my stock for him as an actor, even though he probably is going to be in Heat 2, is still going to drop.
Oh, yeah.
You don't accept the Fade Ralph the Speedo.
It's not it.
Because obviously he cares about my opinion and our opinions on the Manic Movie Misfits podcast, clearly.
Yeah.
He's one of the 3 listeners.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But
I've tracked the IP addresses, and there's this really big house in Bel Air, and I'm thinking, this could be Austin Butler.
you're tracking IP addresses and stalking them through Twitter.
Yeah, I'm doing all the shady things.
Like the people from the Bling Ring.
Say again?
The Bling Ring?
What is that?
It's the movie about the people who broke into celebrity homes in the late 2000s.
That was a thing?
That was a thing.
Whoa.
So, this isn't like a spoiler or anything. This is like the basic story of what happened. Essentially in the late 2000s in LA, all these like prep school kids, they found that, hey, we live next to all these celebrities, and hey, we can pretty much track them through the internet, through like all these celebrity websites and stuff. So they would like essentially like when they know they're out of town, they would break into their house and start stealing clothes and stuff. Yeah, it was a crazy story. And like I think was it Paris Hilton that was the one they stole the most from? I think it was. I think they stole the most from Paris Hilton. But yeah, the movie The Bling Ring, which when I first watched, I absolutely hated that movie.
It's a bad movie.
I think it was just one of those things where it's like I wasn't in the mood, and I watched it, and I'm like, this isn't for me. But I've been very much wanting to rewatch it. It's because it's Sofia Coppola, and I love her.
No way.
It is, yeah.
I did not know that.
But yeah, it's a very interesting story, and I mean, I it's one of those things where it's like I could see it happening, and it definitely did. But it was a big thing in the LA Valley, late 2000s.
Speaking of Coppola, we got the first sort of news about Megalopolis.
That is true. It finally showed.
Yes,
sounds like.
And there's a lot of, I haven't heard necessarily positive or negative news about whether it's great, good, bad, whatever, but I've heard it is truly an experience.
That's what I've heard too.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about like people are like, this is good, this is bad. It's all been like, this was something really cool that like, I mean, you're watching one of the best directors ever make a movie for like the first time in a billion years. Wasn't
it? The one piece that I read, it was I think he was a director, like got up from the screening and was like, this is like a master at work here or something.
Who was that?
So you read that too. You heard about that.
Yeah. Oh, I
think he's a relatively big director that went up and look that up. But he got up and basically said, this is a master here. You need to stop making fun of him and disrespecting him and give him his credit, which I am totally on board for. Coppola is one of those directors where I don't care how many more bad movies he makes, he is one of the greatest directors of all time.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Purely because of the 70s. And some people may disagree with that, and I can understand your comments because you have to look at the totality of someone's work. But when you have The Godfather Part 2, The Conversation, Apocalypse Now, all in one decade, basically. It was in one decade. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the 70s. And they're all back-to-back from my understanding. No, I would challenge Scorsese to do something, to have a run like that. Scorsese's had great runs, but even he has, from my understanding, has not had a run like that. If we're talking about how classic, iconic, fantastic they are, and then adding the awards into it too. Mm-hmm. Apocalypse Now winning the Palme d'Or. at Cannes, and then of course The Godfather winning Best Picture, and then you have all of them getting nominated for these things, and then obviously by themselves they're classics, ultra classics, if that's a thing. I'm gonna make it a thing. You could make 50 billion movies, and if he could, and because of that run, top 5 American director of all time. I definitely say top 10. Again, it seems like whenever I say top 5, top 10, or when anyone does, there always seems to be someone missing something. But without a doubt, top 10, and approaching top 5, if not in the top 5. You have The Godfather, which is the movie of iconic movies, more or less.
One of them, yeah.
Insane. Did you find anything, TJ?
I haven't.
Or do you want me to? Okay, I'll keep ranting about my social life.
I'll find it later.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. But I mean, yeah, for what I gathered of your talk, yeah, I mean, it's hard for a director to go on crazy runs like that, and I mean,
Spielberg and Scorsese have not had a run like that. They haven't.
Yeah.
They're you can't. No.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, like, they're good, and like.
Yes.
Actually, now I'm interested. I'm gonna look at some filmographies.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I feel like there might be one that like compares, but I mean, it's hard to be like, that is as good. Especially in a short time.
Right. Short time. And then I'll include another layer, scale as well.
True.
With Apocalypse Now. And the way he was able to, it's so cool seeing in this run having the conversation, which is a very small production relative. There's not a lot that goes into that. I'm not saying there is a lot that goes into making a movie like that, but compared to Apocalypse Now, with how synonymous it is with people having heart attacks and borrowing vehicles from a military that's in the middle of a war, and just the whole grand scale filmmaking of it, and then having The Godfather Part 2, having basically what's considered one of the greatest sequels of all time, one of the greatest movies of all time, one of the greatest war movies of all time.
Exactly.
And one of the greatest conspiracy thriller movies of all time.
Exactly.
Bro.
I'm
I'm going to throw down with that resume versus anyone when it comes to 4 movies in a row. Again, I'm not poo-pooing any other 4-movie run.
I've never heard that before.
That's a thing. People say that.
I know.
It's not nearly as sophisticated of a word as I could have come up with, but hey, it was in the moment.
Oh, I didn't expect anything crazy elaborate, but I was just like, that was no, it's not what I was expecting. I was like, huh.
We're very, very surprising people on the podcast. What were you going to say, TJ? I didn't mean to interrupt you. Were you going to say something?
Oh, no, I'm in the process of looking through like the big, like, what I would say is
John Ford is probably one to look up to.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want you to spend the rest of the podcast.
This is the last one I'm doing. No. I always forget that Martin Scorsese did the video for Bad.
I'm not familiar with that song.
Michael Jackson?
Oh! Yes, I'm familiar with that song.
Yeah. I always forget he did that. Yeah. In terms of like 4 movies back to back to back, I wouldn't say. At least from like Scorsese, Spielberg, Kubrick. They're the ones I looked at.
Yes. That is just a godly run.
Yeah, in terms of within 1 decade or the span of a decade. That's absolutely God tier.
When it comes to the Letterboxd, when Letterboxd does their top 4 favorite movies, when they ask the actors, producers, directors, the top 2 movies are 2001 and The Godfather. Those are the 2 that come up the most.
True. Well, yeah. I mean, The Godfather is like widely considered one of the best movies ever made.
It is the cliche, and for good reason, answer when it comes to what's the greatest movie of all time.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think for a long time, every magazine and film critic or whatever was like, it's the best. Like that and Citizen Kane.
True. Citizen Kane is also in that same tier as
But
far as
I feel like
that.
it also is just like it depends on when you grew up.
No, yeah, it depends on a lot of things. I don't disagree with that, and I love.
Well, but I mean, like in terms of like, I feel like pre the '60s, I feel like if you grew up before that, it was Citizen Kane. If you grew up like the '70s and on, it's The Godfather. If I have yet to see something else kind of be as high level as those, and like where it's like if it's not one, it's the other. If it's everyone loves it, it's always number one. Casablanca is always up there, but I wouldn't say it's number one.
True. It's not. It's definitely not Battlefield Earth. Last time I checked, at least.
Oh, what a movie!
It's just not. It's not Battlefield Earth. We fortunately for us, we all have good to great movies in the studio here.
Well, I do have a Battlefield Earth poster.
No, you don't.
I do.
When'd you get that?
Emerson gave it to me.
Is it what size is it?
I don't remember.
Okay.
He got it from like years ago. I'm always try to find a place for it, but I never have. But yeah, maybe I'll hang that behind my TV in my new apartment.
Yeah, we just don't have all good to great content in this studio.
Yeah, great movies.
We just have great taste. What can I say? I mean, we're kind of perfect in every way imaginable.
My favorite movie, Battlefield Earth. Second favorite movie, Battlefield Earth.
Okay, wait. What's your third favorite movie?
Top Gun.
Oh.
This chair is so squeaky. Anytime I move, like at all, it's like.
No, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at the atomic sneeze. You heard that, right?
I did not.
Dude.
I thought you heard like the crazy.
Oh no!
Screech of this chair every time I move.
We should I mean, obviously, at some point we will have 4 people, but for now, we should probably change out that chair for one of these two, since you are going to be, you are here for every episode.
Yeah, that is true.
Until I blindfold you and put you in the middle of the desert.
Okay.
In southwestern Idaho.
Okay. Fair.
And say, hey, find your way home.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
And then you'll come across a bag full of money with a bunch of dead cartel members.
Yeah.
With their trucks.
And then Johnny will hunt me down.
What will he have a kind of bowl cut haircut?
Yeah. Oh, that'll be his new style.
Is that what you would call Anton Chigurh's haircut?
It looks like a bowl cut.
Yeah.
It's kind of bowl cutty.
But it's kind of longer, right, than a typical bowl cut, or no?
Yeah, it wears a little lower.
Yeah.
One
of the truly great
looks
of all time. I mean, I that is something to rock, really. I'm gonna make that trendy. I'm gonna straighten my hair and kind of get that sort of
the Chigurh
look going. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wear dark clothing all the time.
Oh yeah.
One step away from being goth.
Like a early 2000s goth or like 90s goth?
Which one do I want to go for?
Ooh. All right. Are we talking like grunge? Are we talking like grunge emo or like
I'm feeling
pop punk emo?
Okay, I'm feeling grunge vibe.
Okay, fair enough.
What? Give me some tips. What else am I gonna need?
Well, this is too early for Hot Topic, so at least early 2000s Hot Topic before it did the inevitable fall off. But I mean, I feel like you need some. What do 90s people wear? I don't know.
Well, as someone who is a connoisseur of the X-Files and therefore knows everything about 90s style, bro, the jeans with like a tucked in shirt or jeans with like a chill relaxed style jeans with a sweatshirt.
Oh yeah, the rolled up sleeves on a t-shirt as well.
Bro,
that's a look.
Primo. There's so many styles from the 80s and 90s I just want to recreate, and I feel like I just can't rock them.
Yeah, I feel like it just depends on like what you got rocking to rock with. There's always the ability to pull it off, but Sometimes you just need to go thrifting.
Yeah. What's the one Macklemore song?
Thrift shop?
Oh, that's right.
Hey, Malcolmore, can we go thrift shopping?
Does that have over 1 billion listens on Spotify?
On Spotify?
I bet so.
It might. I remember the music video was a big thing, so I'll check that next.
Speaking of music, the guy who did Gangnam Style, what's his name?
PSY or Psy or whatever his name? Yeah.
You saw that one sort of relatively viral clip on social media where it's like the behind the scenes of him jumping. Like there's that one sort of platform that shoots him up in the air and when he jumps.
Dude, that dude still sells at arenas.
Dude, good for him, bro.
Honestly.
He is living a legendary life. Where I was going with this platform thing, though, is can we get those for the podcast room?
I would love that.
We might smack our heads on the ceiling, but we could just take this tack hammer.
Just put a hole in the floor.
And just start tacking our way up there. And hopefully that would be enough space so we could use these platforms to launch up and have an epic entrance. I can't think of another podcast that has those platforms. Well, it sounds, just from the video, it looks like his concerts are hella fun.
Yeah, I would imagine, with a song that was as huge and like crazy popular as that, like, just like the vibe of going in and seeing someone who just goes all in on a song like that. Great time. Great time.
Hey, make your money, King. That's what I have to say.
I've never heard you say something like that.
That's something you would say.
That is.
You've said that.
That's
probably
my aggressive gay side of me. Yeah. Oh. That is not what I expected you to say at all.
Hey.
That's like the second time this podcast you said something like really out of personality. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Here's the thing. This is true because this is, people have studied this. Sociologists, great, smart humans have studied this.
Yeah, not us.
Not us. Not us on the Manic We Miss This podcast. Have studied when you're around people a lot, you start adopting their phrases,
that is true,
their terminology for good and bad things. That's why I had to divert my normal bet. Hey, you want to go get lunch tomorrow? Bet. To black entertainment television. I'm not downgrading black entertainment television.
No, you're not.
I'm not. We literally opened this podcast by saying how awesome Martin was. Dude, Martin was a vibe.
That is true.
I think I actually want to go watch that entire show. Seriously.
Do it. Please.
I'm going to do it. Add it to, dude, be great for the sitcom episode.
That's
ranking
true.
Martin. Who knows? Maybe it'll be top 5.
S tier.
I'm not, but again, it wasn't ideal to start with the finale, but.
Listen, it's fine.
From what I saw of the finale, it was solid.
It was a fun show.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. And it, of course, showed all the throwback clips of, hey, remember when this happened?
We didn't.
I can't wait till they do that with our podcast. Be like, hey, remember when, John hit TJ with a tack hammer, concussed him?
Yeah. And now I have a huge dent in my skull.
Like me.
Yeah.
Had to sort of get matching there.
Yeah.
Matching dents.
They'll call us the dent heads.
The dentlers.
The Harvey Dents.
The Harvey Dents. The Harvey Dents podcast. Yeah. Brought to you by...
Which Harvey Dent are you?
Oh.
Are you Billy D. Williams?
Probably shouldn't say yes to that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say no.
A little problematic.
Yeah, slightly.
Yeah.
Not for some people, though.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. Yeah.
I mean, it depends what route you want to go, but...
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, fine.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
That's just one celebrity that could do it.
This bit got really awkward. Oh my god.
We're channeling our inner awkward sitcom moments.
Yeah. But
what's the I saw a thing on social media the other day where it was just how people were talking about how Modern Family, 80% of it is just hilarious. It's hilarious because 80% of the time it's just stuff out of context.
That's another good modern sitcom.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's on my list.
That
It
was
is.
so funny for the little bits I've seen.
So is Postmodern Family.
Not pre-modern Family. But we all know that the best sitcom of all time is The Big Bang Theory.
Now, for the sitcom episode, I will watch that because we have a lot of time before we obviously make that episode. I will sit myself...
Bottom tier. I loathe watching Big Bang Theory.
I've seen 0 full episodes, but I've seen sections of episodes. Yeah, it's just...
It's not funny. It does not understand nerds the way it thinks it does.
But see, that part of the reason that show succeeded, our episode here is coming full circle, getting a little meta on us, is with that comment, is it was so successful because there just wasn't a lot of wasn't any other great sitcoms going on.
Yeah. I can get why people liked it, but I can't stand it. It's one of those shows like I want to be like, I can kind of see where you're coming from. I can't see why people like it. It's like one of the only few things where I'm like, I viscerally like, I can't watch this. Which is that's very uncommon for me. I guess I will watch anything. I hate Big Bang Theory. But I'm going to make it a point to try Young Sheldon.
Wait, actually?
Not like actually watch it.
Okay.
I'm going to try, my friend and I are going to try and sit through the first episode.
I wish you luck.
The show is ending. And I give them credit for going on for like 6 seasons or however long that show was on.
Yeah, well, it's ending now, I know. It's on its final season.
Yeah. Go them. They made a show. So.
I was trying to find a sound bite to salute you, besides doing the standard salute, which is kind of getting old.
Trooper.
But that's the war is canceled. That just doesn't...
It does.
It does work?
Troopers?
Oh, well, I'll just do this. Watch.
Troopers.
Yeah.
And troopers. So troopers.
Troopers.
You. Good luck.
Oh yeah. I'll find time to watch that sometime with my friend because by God,
you're in for a masterpiece. Just a true masterpiece.
Oh yeah. I'll fit that in between what's another really really cinematic movie?
A sarcastic cinematic movie.
We have a list of them going.
Well, what's the movie you showed?
Ooh, Little Nicky. That
I've never heard of it.
You've never heard of Little Nicky?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. Does
it have a character who's little named Nicky?
Close enough. It's early 2000s Adam Sandler. It's the one where he's a demon and he goes up to New York City, and he has like the emo haircut, and he has this really annoying voice, and he talks to a dog for 90 minutes. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Wow.
It's really bad, but...
Is it worse than... What's the one with Dunkachino, Jack and Jill?
For a long time, it was considered worse, but also, I mean, I feel like most people consider Jack and Jill like the bottom of the bottom.
Oh, worse than Little Nicky.
I think.
Wow, even with the power of Dunkachino.
Yeah.
Even with the power of, when I get to Phoenix, he'll be rising.
Man, Popeye's chicken.
He'll probably leave a note right on the door.
What's another amazing movie we have in here? The FNAF movie. My friend is dying to watch that, and I'm like...
Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah, it's not good. I could spend a whole like 30 minutes talking about how that movie is just how somehow the lead writer doesn't understand how to make the basic idea of your game into something that legitimately would be fun to watch. I could rant about that for an hour.
But were you expecting it to be good?
No, but like I would expect there to be a scene where he looks at cameras and closes doors. You know, the main premise of the thing. No, I think he looks at a camera for maybe less than 10 seconds. And it's like, dude, how... I get you want to be like lore based and all that, and like have this dense lore that nobody understands now because it's so stupid. I could rant about Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's a shame too, because it's coming around a time where there's actually a lot of good video game movies. There's Super Mario Bros. Movie. Mm-hmm. There's the Sonic movies, which I'm still excited to see the second one. We were planning on doing that as a group.
We were going to watch that like 2 years ago.
We were planning on doing that as a group, but we just haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, and also I'll shout out. Yes, I know.
The Halo show.
Yeah, my voice. I get loud. I get passionate.
You've been a very loud boy this episode.
Yes, I have been. Don't worry. That is why I edit these episodes.
That is true.
Coming off, we haven't finished the Halo show, but if you want to include the Halo show, season 1, a lot of solid stuff.
It's been a very well received show.
And the second season, even better. Mm. Better than the first one.
Yeah. There's video game stuff has kind of come around. Not completely, but a little bit.
Oh, The Last of Us.
The Last of Us is like the pinnacle of that.
So, how do you say it? FNAF?
FNAF?
FNAF.
Yeah.
Shame on you. You get this.
Brother,
this guy stinks!
Oh, yeah. Scott Cawthon. I love you, but I also... Okay, I don't think the complication of Five Nights at Freddy's is completely his fault, but it doesn't work. I'm sorry to say that, Scott. And I'm not like some big crazy cringy FNAF nerd or anything like that. I mean, we were big into this, like, I mean, at least like when it was big like 10 years ago, and I was like 12. It was a big thing, and I was kind of into it. But now I'm like, I haven't paid attention to that probably since I was 13. So
in this case, I have this to say.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Okay.
Do you actually know any of the lore?
I kind of do.
Interesting. Okay.
Briefly,
what is the lore? What is the origin?
So after I watched the movie, and I was like, man, I kind of want to like figure out like what was this all like about? Because I was like, part of me was like, I kind of remember this, but part of me was like, I kind of don't. So I watched like some little video essay where it's just like condensed. Here's the basics. Essentially, spirits of youngins, they're trapped in animatronics and they kill people. That's the basics of it. It shouldn't be that hard. And then by like game like 5, it just goes bombastic through the roof. It's like this person and this person, they're father and son, and then they both know about animatronics, and then they're trying to resurrect their dead sister, and it's like, what is happening? It's like, it started off with ghosts, and it's like, dog, that works.
Yeah.
Keep it there. But I think it's just like through the indie scene and people wanting more, he's like, I have to add on to this, and I have to make it more than just ghosts. And I respect him for trying to make his own little lore. And he kind of works at times, but dude, it doesn't. It just doesn't. It's baffling.
Has there been any lore about the outside of this carnival place? Because it's where it takes place, right? There's a carnival.
Like, most of it is like outside of it at this point. It's like, what?
What is the outside world? Is it just normal Earth?
It's just the normal world.
Okay.
But I don't know. I get him wanting to write like this whole thing about mostly about the lore for the movie, but like, I don't know. It doesn't work, dude. Keep it simple, keep it fun. Didn't work.
Try and be the original live action Super Mario Bros. Movie. Try.
Yeah. If you actually want like a good like analysis of that movie and being like, here's everything that didn't work and here's how you could actually make it good. I can't remember the podcast, but it's the old YouTuber Jacksepticeye. His new podcast, they have an episode on it, and I listened to that as well after I watched the movie, because I was like, I used to watch him when I was like 12 as well, and so I was like, might as well try this new podcast. I just watched this movie. Everything I don't like about that movie, they talk about, and it's entertaining. Listen to it. I will shout out one of the 2 podcasts I've like ever listened to.
They probably won't ever get as big as us. This Jacksepticeye thing.
Yeah, Him and
But
I can't
it's good
remember
that,
who
so
else
it's good
is
that
on
you're
it.
shouting it out because we want to help them grow because they're probably not very big.
Oh no, they don't have totally millions of listeners, and I mean, yeah, one of the biggest YouTubers ever.
Clearly not.
Why would he ever have a following?
Wasn't he one of the guys that was taking a break from YouTube or retiring? Or
I
no?
I don't think he's ever retired.
Oh.
I just know in the little bit I've seen of him like for years, because I mean I haven't watched like consistently for probably like 8 years now. I want to say he just like comes in, does a few episodes, and then just disappears, and it's like cool.
I see. And obviously each episode garners
Millions
a
of
gajillion views.
Yeah, but I mean like he's one of the OG Let's Play people, so I mean, can you fault him? No. He's iconic as hell.
Did PewDiePie retire?
He did.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he retired. Out of like the big three from that time, I think he's the only one that's retired.
And then Game Theory guy.
He just retired, yeah.
Yes.
Matt Pat. Who else retired? I don't know.
I just know there was this big trend where it was either they were all taking a break or retiring. There was
one of them like made
healthy
a movie,
section of
and
them.
it was like, what? Yeah. Who's the one with the pink hair? I can't remember his name. Apparently he's making like a movie, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. I'm here for it. Go him.
Well, I think we're going to end the podcast here because we have to go make our own movie.
Yeah. Are we?
AKA John's also showing up in a second, but we're going to go make our own movie.
Yeah. Like what kind of movie are we making?
Do we just spin the wheel and figure out a genre? Or no. We're more sophisticated individuals than that.
Yeah. We're gonna make our own version of Dune.
Oh, can we use my panda idea?
Of course.
Yes.
We'll rent out a panda from the zoo,
Okay.
and
Okay, hold on. Before you continue, are we violating any animal rights?
maybe. I'm kidding. Wow. Also, maybe.
I mean, the worst can happen is we can get 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, which they don't have negatives, so it can never be a negative movie.
Okay, do we strive to be better than Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey?
Just slightly above it.
Okay, so we're just aiming for like a 4% on Rotten
Yes.
Tomatoes.
Yes.
But that's just for the first one.
Right. For the second one, we'll double it every time. So then we'll go 8%.
Okay, but here's the thing. The second one got like a 50%.
The second what?
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Wait, they made a second one?
Yeah. Have you not heard about this?
No.
Okay, before we end this.
Yeah, we yes.
The whole the Winnie the Pooh thing.
Yeah.
They're making, it's gonna be like a whole, like, this guy wants to make like a whole cinematic universe out of it. I mean, he has a Bambi one coming, I think a Sleeping Beauty, a Peter Pan, and
Well, the Mickey Mouse rights just went up.
that is true, but he's not incorporating that one. Oh, what is it? Did I say Pinocchio?
No.
Okay, Pinocchio, that's what it is.
Okay.
And then he's gonna, after making all of those separate movies, he's gonna make a team up movie where they're all in one movie. And it's like, dude, what?
Dude, that's going to be an Avengers level threat.
Honestly, like, is it stupid? Yes. Do I respect him for having this weird cockamamie plan for all of this? Kind of.
Yes.
It's so dumb. It just works. It just works.
And that is a great explanation of our podcast. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening
Yes.
to the Manic podcast. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Check us out on Spotify or YouTube or whatever you're not listening on.
Thank you.
We have other platforms.
Check us out on the xylophone, or what's the...
I prefer the saxophone.
Okay, what was the thing that they were trying to make popular besides, like, just before or during DVDs? I think they were small. What were they called? There was a thing.
DVDs? Well, there's
It was either
LaserDiscs.
LaserDiscs.
Those are way before. Those are older.
Okay, but around VHS, yes? Or
Around
even
that.
before VHS.
I think it's, around like VHS and Betamax.
Yes. We're not going to... No LaserDiscs for us.
No LaserDisc. Only cassette.
Only cassette. And now the podcast is over.
Yes.
Peace.